Hello, we are watching Videos Podcast Daily and following today's headlines.
Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng dialogues with young people on issues of their concern. Vietnam and the U.S. signed an agreement on amendments to their bilateral air transport agreement. Vietnam seeks stronger cooperation with partners in dealing with consequences of mines left over from the war.
The party and state consider the youth a revolutionary cause spearhead and the Ho Chi Minh Communist Youth Union a reliable reserve team to the party. Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng has affirmed these during his dialogue with young people in Hanoi on December 14.
The dialogue discussed human resources development, career guidance, job creation, how to use young talent and build modern rural areas. Prime Minister Dũng stressed that youth-related issues are vital to the nation. The Prime Minister noted that most young people today have the right goal and ideology, as well as a strong belief in the bright future of the country and the party and state leadership. The Youth Union and young people's pursued goal is the same as that of the party and nation, to build a prosperous people, a strong nation, democracy, equality and firm advancement to socialism, Dũng added. He stressed the important role of young people in the country's industrialization and modernization to turn Vietnam into a modern industrialized country by 2020. The government will do its utmost, together with the party and people, to care for the younger generation and offer them a better environment to develop, study and relax, the Prime Minister pledged. The 10th National Congress of the Ho Chi Minh Communist Youth Union wrapped up the same day. Nguyễn Đắc Vinh, alternate member of the Party Central Committee and the first Secretary of Ho Chi Minh Communist Youth Union Central Committee in its 9th tenure, was re-elected as first Secretary of its 10th tenure.
Minister of Transport Dinh La Thăng and the United States Ambassador to Vietnam, David Shea, signed an agreement on the amendments to the Vietnam-United States Bilateral Air Transport Agreement.
The agreement was officially signed in 2003. It was amended in 2010, under which the two sides agreed that the 2003 version would remain in effect until March 31, 2012. The new amendment extends the validity of the 2003 agreement indefinitely. It will come into effect after both sides conclude the exchange of diplomatic notes. Once completed, the amended agreement will create a legal basis to open up opportunities to strengthen civil aviation cooperation between the two countries. It is particularly relevant to the national flag carrier Vietnam Airlines, which is preparing to launch a direct route that will link Vietnam and the U.S.
Sharing experience and measures to prevent and fight the trade of synthetic drugs in Southeast Asia is the focus of an international conference in Hanoi on December 30.
The conference, organized by the French National School for the Judiciary, drew the participation of investigators, judges and regulators from Southeast Asia, France, China, Japan and the Republic of Korea. The event provides a platform for local and foreign authorities to enhance their awareness of the matter. Drug crimes are becoming more complicated. Besides the smuggling from other countries, some domestic rings are even able to produce synthetic drugs themselves. This is a problem shared by the entire world, so international cooperation in this field is very urgent. During the event, participants joined in group discussions on a number of case studies with a view to increasing efficiencies of cooperation.
The Ministry of Labour, while Invalids and Social Affairs hosted a seminar in Hanoi on December 14th, seeking stronger cooperation with partners in dealing with consequences of mines left over from the war.
There have been more than 100,000 deaths and injuries caused by unexploded ordnance in Vietnam since the war ended nearly 40 years ago. Most victims are children and laborers from rural areas. In the past years, the Vietnamese government has made great efforts to remove mines, treat victims, and help them integrate into the community. However, the execution of this task is still encountering many difficulties. Vietnam will continue to foster cooperation with sponsors and non-governmental organizations to deal with the challenges. They will build a comprehensive data map of areas where unexploded ordnance remains and step up education campaigns about the threat among vulnerable communities to reduce casualties.
A conference was held in Hanoi on December 14th to look at ways to enhance women's leadership ability in the state sector to serve deep and broad international integration. We find out more.
The conference was held for the project Enhance the Leadership Capacity of Women Working in the State Sector in the context of international integration. It was jointly organized by the United Nations Development Programme (UNDP) and Vietnam's Foreign Ministry, drawing in representatives of ministries, academies, and 20 cities and provinces nationwide, as well as domestic and international experts. Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs cum Project Director Nguyễn Phương Nga, Permanent Deputy Minister of Labour, Work and Violence and Social Affairs Nguyễn Thanh Hòa, and the UNDP's Country Director in Vietnam, Lucy Chamberlain, stressed the importance of human resource quality. The participants pointed to the necessity to raise awareness of the benefits of women's participation in social activities because it will contribute to improving gender equality in the country.
The Bank for Investment and Development of Vietnam will loan 30 trillion Vietnam dong with the preferential interest rate for social housing projects in 2013 and 2015 to ease difficulties in Vietnam's property market. The Ministry of Construction and the bank signed an agreement to this effect in Hanoi on December 14.
Construction Minister Trịnh Đình Dũng affirmed that both the Vietnamese government and National Assembly made a request to the ministry to help unfreeze the property market. Property now accounts for more than 50% of total credit debt, affecting macroeconomic growth and the lives of people. Resolving difficulties in the market will stabilize the macroeconomy and help low-income earners afford new homes. The ministry is concretizing a national strategy on housing development with specific decrees on resettlement and social housing and housing for people that have rendered service to the country. It has also collaborated with the Ministry of Finance to introduce a fiscal policy to solve property market challenges.
A photo exhibition on the relations between Vietnam and the Republic of Korea opened at the headquarters of the Vietnam News Agencies on December 14th. The event marks the 20th anniversary of the two countries' diplomatic ties.
75 photographs characterizing the friendship and cooperation between Vietnam and the Republic of Korea are displayed at the exhibition, which is jointly held by Vietnam News Agency and the Yonhap News Agency. Addressing the event, General Director of the Vietnam News Agency Nguyễn Đức Lợi said he believes the exhibition will contribute to strengthening mutual understanding and trust between the two peoples, boosting solidarity, friendship and cooperation between Vietnam and the Republic of Korea. Korean Ambassador to Vietnam Ha Chan-ho said he hopes this year will be the starting point for developing and deepening bilateral ties between the two nations. In addition to images taken by photojournalists that depict the two countries' history, culture and people, other photos recall historic moments such as the first visit to the Republic of Korea by former Prime Minister Võ Văn Kiệt in May 1993 and the state-level visit to Vietnam by Korean President Lee Myung-bak in 2009 when the two sides agreed to lift bilateral ties to a strategic partnership. The exhibition will run through December 21st.
Australian marathon man Patrick Farmer and his partner Mai Huy on December 14th embarked on a new stage from Hanoi in their ultra-marathon run to raise funds for clean water programs in Vietnam.
Farmer and Huy, a Vietnamese student in Australia, started the 40-day run Pole to Pole Vietnam on December the 9th in Quảng Ninh. They expect to come to the goal line in the southernmost province of Cà Mau, running through 30 provinces. The event will highlight the 40th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Australia and Vietnam, as well as introduce Vietnam's image and culture to Australian and international friends. People in Hanoi, particularly the young, have enthusiastically joined in the program.
This is the end of our news today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.